Everything working? Alright, hey, I'm Jaro, and welcome back to my unedited playthrough of Disco Elysium. And we're still on a mission to have Harry Dubois earn the bisexuality realization. Yet another badge to add to his police badges, as one might put it. But for that, I've already known a little bit of spoilers, but I do know that we need to pass some composure checks, I think. I'm pretty sure we have to pass some composure checks to be bisexual. So that's the first order of business. A little bit more points into that.
Hear
What's
that?
up?
Magnesium. That's what you're lacking. The lack of magnesium has you slouched.
No, it doesn't. I'm sitting up straight.
The magnesium levels in your blood are dangerously low. It's about the low magnesium levels and not the high alcohol levels.
Try to deny it all you want, electrochemistry. You can say, if I knew it wasn't the alcohol or the other things. Which other things? Or there's a lack of magnesium in me, or magnesium level is fine. I don't know, let's inspect it. What do you know?
Yes, and it's critical. Look at yourself. You're practically devolving into a fish due to the lack of magnesium in your bloodstream.
It wouldn't be the first time someone on this channel has turned into a fish, so we need to mag it up or mag it sideways. What's the difference between them?
You need to get so magged up. You've probably had 2 heart attacks and a minor stroke already, and the only prescription is insane amounts of magnesium.
In real life, it's a laxative, isn't it? So you're saying I need to become a magnesium-based life form, based on magnesium.
Yes, if you want to live, you need to evolve. You need to transcend the carbon barrier. Go to the apothecary and buy insane amounts of magnesium. It will reverse the damage to your circulatory system.
Is that the same way that entirely vegetable, cursed soup makes you lose weight? You flush all the toxins out down the toilet?
Just remember, it's not the alcohol. Buy more of that too. Alcohol is not the problem.
Surely we can come back from the brink again, right?
And it's certainly not the dextroamphetamine.
Oh, that's what else.
Nor smoking for 40 years. It's the lack of magnesium and excess of coffee. You should stop drinking coffee. It wreaks havoc on your gastrointestinal system.
Electrochemistry wants us to stop coffee and keep alcohol. Thank you, doctor. Well, at least one doctor around here cares for you, sort of, in a way. Misguided as that may be. Okay, looking around here, I don't know that anything is new. Magnesium-based life form? What is that? Oh, -1 to Shivers. But Shivers has been pretty cool so far. And what does this do? It is generally understood that human beings are carbon-based organisms, fusing little carbon tubes together to form a complex, mushy structure capable of thought, love, and locomotion. Yeah, the order of importance in which I would list those. It is also known that these structures sometimes like to take the edge off by consuming ethanol, amphetamine, etc. In such cases, it is important to supplement your body with magnesium. Tired? Mag. Down? Mag time. Liver damage? Maximum mag. Some people say magnesium doesn't really do anything and you just need to quit. What do we tell them? From the sentence structure pattern, I would guess mag. Solution? Anything? Nothing? I am unclear and fascinated on what it does. Okay, where it's impossible to predict exactly what. Okay, and I do have this save it did load up correctly, right? There's books, there's more books, and that's everything we want. Okay, I guess we head out of here then. Goodbye, David Bowie. And okay, it's impossible to predict which characters would, or which interactions would cause you to hear Oh, well, that's an apt sort of loading screen tip about doing things when Kim has gone to sleep. And it is kind of weird having done a different save to see what taking the mission of finding her lost husband does. Yeah, I mean, I guess in main saves, once it's gone, huh? And I'm going off to talk to the pale driver before we encounter those aforementioned composure checks. Noisy birds, huh? Okay, so if I'm talking to people I've talked to before.
Still here, stuck in this damn jam, my man. What's up?
Well, that's a fun set of rhymes. I feel like... Why do I feel like the pale driver would be a character that could maybe have Shivers saying something? I don't know. Okay, how... I guess you're doing pretty good on that, but you could take a -1 if we're learning something. But let's ask about a lady driver.
I don't want to talk about that.
Well, I do want to talk about it. So I'm sorry. Do you know something? Or I don't mean to pry. Or let's change the subject. Is it better or worse to not start off with I don't mean to pry?
Man, I was hoping it isn't going to be her. All I can say is, she isn't around here anymore. She isn't some evil drug trafficker. And I don't know where she is.
Not around here anymore. So whoever was mentioned earlier isn't the pale driver? We can say in a sort of confrontational manner, I asked you, who's conducting the drug trade? You said you didn't know, now you're saying you do, or who's this person, what's her name? I have the instinct that being confrontational isn't the most graceful way to do things, but let's go on.
I didn't, man. I told you I was hoping it's not her. That she wouldn't be mixed up in it.
He still is, hoping. It's just wishful thinking on his part, not trickery.
Well, that's a mood. Well, who is this person? What's her name?
Thank God I don't know. People here call her the Lady Driver. She kept her name a secret. From me, too. Now I see why.
So many delays in finding out what a name is. Who is she to you?
A friend? An acquaintance. I don't know. She was the only person in this damn jam I could talk to. She's someone I don't want to rat out to the law, okay?
It's strangely funny to say that to the law, but I guess that speaks to your easygoing demeanor, Harry. What's she look like?
A youngish woman. Gruff, but in a cool way.
What color hair?
Blue and violet. Dyed. It was violet when she got here. Blue before she went.
So somebody changing up her hair color. Would we want to know who sells hair dyes then? When did she leave?
Damn, I don't want to... Please just let it go. Whatever she did, it can't be that bad. She's not a bad person. I know that much.
I mean, wasn't a driver one of the possible options for the uneven footprint in the yard back over there too? So there's a lot of bad things going on here, Tommy. It could have been that bad.
We can't just let it go. It's part of a police investigation.
That's how it always is with you, isn't it? All part of the investigation. The girl's troubled. If you hunt her down, she may not survive it. I can't have that on my conscience.
Well, when you put it that way.
It won't come to that. We won't pursue her on this. This is information only.
Huh. And that sounded strangely softer approach coming from you, Kim.
I don't believe you.
We can say, believe us, or she's troubled how.
She's got the darkness in her. That young person's darkness when you think it's all over. And you're looking for a way out.
Sounds like you've been there yourself.
She shared this with you?
You said they were friends.
Yes, which is why I don't want to snitch on her.
We can say it's not snitching, or life is just a joke, or I was told everyone's afraid of her. You're not? The first two seem to deflect it too much.
I heard the rumors. I saw the other drivers looking at me strange when we talked. And she told me, too, that she's had a violent life. But I wasn't afraid of her. More like for her.
Well, you've got a big heart.
Did this violent life include drug trafficking?
We have all the subtlety of a sledgehammer, but maybe that helps. Does it help? Let's click.
Well, it looks like it did now. But we didn't talk about that. We talked about life, you know? She talked about her mind.
Her mind, how? Do I know anything about minds? Is this anything to do with the pill that I can't seem to get information on? Her mind.
The way it worked. The trouble it was giving her.
The pain it was causing her.
Huh. Pain threshold and empathy. You're right next to each other, aren't you? When she left, did she leave her Lorry behind?
Fuck, man. Go grill someone else with these questions, okay? There are plenty of drivers here who couldn't stand her, or were afraid of her. They'd be more than happy to rat her out.
That kind of passing it off to someone else, it's not exactly jumping in front of a bullet for her, but it still is refusing to do it yourself.
He's
refusing
right.
to rat her out
There
yourself.
are other options. The raceman, for one.
Reaction speed.
Push Tommy, and it will break his heart and his spirit. Don't expect you to be pals.
Oh dear.
Now is not the time to focus on feelings. You need that info, son.
I mean, how much, to what capacity? Maybe she'll turn up. Maybe we can say, put yourself in my shoes. I need this for another investigation too. It's important. I can't blow it. Well, that's sort of a very I-centered language. Or she's a suspect. I need you to tell me where she is. I can't finish the investigation. Or fine, I'll drop the matter for now. Huh. I don't quite like the phrasing of the first one. But is it anything that it doesn't have those parentheses behind it?
You're not gonna put a bullet in your head if you blow it, are you? 'Cause she's on the edge, man.
He's threatened to before.
I wouldn't be so sure, Tommy.
Thanks, pain threshold. But no, we're living. We're living.
Imagine it. An explosion of stars. Goodbye world of men, money, and machines.
When you're in pain, it seems like relief, doesn't it? But we're not pushing him. We'll drop the matter.
Thank you, friend. Wow, this makes me feel like I should pick up smoking again.
Oh.
Would help with my rhymes, too.
And the option to press him some more still remains. Well, there might be other ways, but the fact that it still remains bodes a little bit poorly to me, as if it's one of only a few options, or the only option. Hello, lonely statue. Hello, massive, distant seagulls. Massive? Who says they're massive? I don't know. I passed by some seagulls traveling last week, and they're so bold. I wonder if I could pick one up. Probably not, because they have
The woman
wings.
is still hunched over the railing, her head swaying to the music, her eyes looking at nothing in particular.
And we want to snap our fingers. I don't know. Does she say anything again? Hi again, ma'am.
Huh? What is it? What do you want?
New information. Are you the lady driver? We think probably not, but that's a great way to start the questioning, right?
Did you just call me a lady, Sheriff?
Okay, may I ask your pronouns?
She clearly doesn't think she's a lady. Don't repeat it.
Okay, is don't repeat it a hint toward the first option or the second option? we could say woman driver. Would that distinguish from lady? I'm unclear.
I'm not that either, Sheriff.
Nice.
I've gone too far from it all to remember what was between my legs. It doesn't work like that on the long haul.
This is more strange hints about the Pale than I ever could have wondered about. So you're not the driver everyone's terrified of?
I'm only terrifying to small children
Fun.
and to those who used to know me.
Oh, like who? Well, why are you scary to the people who used to know you?
Because they can no longer recognize the person I once was.
Seems like a problem for them. But not for you. Long haul. Can you talk about that?
The big ones, the trucks. There's no women and men there. It's all just...
Huh.
In the middle of this town, there's a ghostly motorway. It takes all the people where they want to stay.
Esoteric?
You
Enigmatic?
feel very cold suddenly, as if standing face to face with a terrifying adversary. Then the feeling dissipates, and all you see is an aging woman.
Shivers again. So I was right not to take up the thought just yet? Who's the female driver?
How should I know? Do I look like I spend a lot of time with the other communers sniffing around when I have my movies to go to?
I wish I could see those movies myself, but it doesn't look like you're getting them from Netflix. Okay, I guess that's all I need to know.
Awesome.
Alright. And no other options we haven't explored. Just popping over to find out the Pale driver is non-binarying around. No genders, only driving. Alright. So I guess we'll get out of there. Then, since we're being thorough, should I thoroughness demands we talk to that asshole, right? So we're going back over, looking at what we may look at, and going through protesters, I suppose. I'm not sure what would be a better or the best.
Looking for something, Hunt? Come to tell me to fuck off again?
If it pleases us.
You could push him by asking him to show you the soles of his boots. He definitely looks like someone capable of a lynching.
But I can't keep track of all your little fake tribalisms. Was the guy lynched part of the same tribe or no? Try it.
Been admiring the stompers, Hunt? For sure, I can demonstrate them.
Are we gonna get hit in the face? We wouldn't.
On the bottom of the man's boots, you see an intricate tangle of treads with no immediately discernible pattern.
It's fascinating who gets treated as more of a suspect.
The wind howls over the Bay of Rivershore, a cascade of cold air flowing through the city streets. Those same streets have left their share of scuff marks on the underside of your green snakeskin shoes.
Is that a map of Rivershaw?
It sure is.
Where'd you get them?
Custom made. Cost me a pretty penny.
Tell me why.
You'll see when the time comes, officer. True patriots carry Revachol in their very souls.
What the hell?
Technically, you're stomping on Revachol every step you take.
Thank you, Kim. It's worth laughing at, thank you.
I know you people don't understand poetry.
I understand you have weird shoes, man. Okay, I know you've been giving me the runaround. Fess up, where's the lady driver?
I don't know what you're talking about.
We can say first you knew Ceiling didn't do it.
He did something. He stole his employer's goods and another lorryman's job. You should be thankful for the tip.
The hell?
He's been expecting this. He's really puffed himself up.
Ew.
Listen up, fuckwits. You don't scare me. You cops don't run Revachol West. You don't run Martinase. You don't run anything.
For better or worse, all we've been running is around. So who runs it? Who does? The lady driver? Or we do run it? Or let's start with that, I guess.
He means la puta madre.
The name resounds like a bell in the air, a dark gong. You get a bad feeling about it. Looks like the lieutenant has a plan. Let him do this.
Oh. Gosh, should I have clicked the other one first for context? Am I lost?
Yeah, him.
Oh. We could cross arms and nod. Or say, what are you doing, Kim? No. The lieutenant had a plan, so the first one is letting him do it, right? Cross your arms.
Then I presume you are familiar with his peonies.
I'm eager for this to be revealed, having no context myself.
Yeah, they're his little bitches. He's got them all over the unions.
Not just the unions. He has peonies everywhere. Some say he even has them in the RCM. Dirty fucking peonies who'd do anything for him. Multi-ethnic drug addicts.
Are you speaking his language?
You're not peonies. You wouldn't be investigating a drug thing if you were.
No, of course not. We are not peonies. But if we were, and one of Madre's drivers were to be stealing from him, then it's a good peony's job to find out who that is.
Hello? Hello? Is that smooth enough?
It's not a hard job. It won't take a long time. It won't make Padre Madre angry. But a stupid fucking racist is standing in the way, protecting this fucking thief.
Is that getting through to him? Is that conniving enough? Is that...
I'm not scared of you or the mob. I'm under the protection of the Lorrymen and Carters Guild.
So, wait, I'm taking it that the actual name is Padre Madre, and you've bastardized it as Puta Madre. Okay, what?
You've seen that corpse in the ceramic armor there. Did his shitty little guild protect him?
Okay, go off.
Nah, you wouldn't just leave him out there if you...
He tries to light a fresh cigarette, but his hands are shaking now. The sentence simply ends. This is going to be a way more satisfying shutting up once I know the context.
The lieutenant turns and gives you a barely perceptible nod.
Okay, rolling with it.
I've softened him up as best I could. Now it's on you to finish the job.
Okay, the fear of having zero context except for... Padre Madre is the mob? And we're saying that maybe we are working for him? And you can't prove we're not?
Be careful. This man's still got some fight in him, by the looks of it. It won't be easy to break him.
It won't be easy to break him. Do I want a 58? I guess.
Men like this only respect two things.
Okay.
Strength and fear.
I wasn't sure it'd succeed. But Half-Light, you deal in fear, don't you?
Time to turn up the volume.
Oh. Yelling. Okay. Show me your lorry right fucking now. The lady driver's lorry, where is it? Oh,
Fuck
grab
you.
him.
I told you, I'm not gonna...
Oh, but are you?
There. His voice grows smaller as yours.
Then let's try to choose which words increase the impact. I'm gonna fuck you for the rest of my life, you understand? Uncertain. You need to get out of bad relationships, or I've been to your fucking lorry, I know where it is, point to it, I'm gonna burn it down. Can the law do that? The mob could do that, which would imply what? Or what's your name? Or I'm gonna go on police radio saying this guy told Mother to fuck off. Okay, all of these are a huge swing in some kind of direction. What? Was the important part earlier? Was the success earlier? Are we burning down property? Are we claiming to be with the mob? I feel comfortable with arson right now.
Fuck you, man. It's some lorry down there. Green, banged up thing. I don't fucking know who she is.
A lot of composure in your voice still. Can we take it down a notch?
When did she go away?
That's it.
I don't know. I don't even know her name. She just rolls with the fleet and acts like a big shot. Some dyke, probably.
Hell yeah.
I haven't even seen her for days.
Now it's not a big deal for him anymore. This is how he saves face.
And tell us where exactly.
Past the monument. Down there. The Green Temple. Now leave me the fuck alone, okay?
I don't know. This was kind of funny.
A small temple by the monument. Green. Let's get into that lorry.
Okay, I'm about it.
Looks like he got his adrenaline up, too.
So, we're in this together. That's how exciting. Alright, past a monument. That was a really badass moment to lead off from. And I wish that I, as a person, had a better understanding of where exactly this takes us all. Green, huh? Okay, I'll try over here first, even though I think of, I don't know, downwards as being more toward our friendly little salesman friend. Looking around. Alright, how promising.
This
Teamwork
green
makes the
fowl,
dreamer.
A
Then
to
again.
Z, contemporaire, is parked in the shadow of the ruins looming overhead. It's seen better days.
This must be the one he told us about. Unless he was lying.
And we can peek inside or try the door handle. I can't help but notice, and in this fun bonding activity between us and Kim, I happen to be carrying a crowbar at all times.
The glass on the side windows is tinted and covered with dust. You can barely make out the shape of a seat and 2 steering levers.
That's something, isn't it?
It feels like you're peeking into someone's home residence. Inside it's private, cozy, warm, dusty too.
Would we be able to tell how soon someone had been around? Maybe they think she left a few days ago, but hasn't really been here. How about the door handle?
The door is locked. The handle looks shiny, like it's recently replaced.
Did someone else because I planned to. Did someone else break in? How are we getting it open?
Use the pry bar to smash the window. Open it from the inside.
Oh, your adrenaline is up. Good idea. We could say really. I mean, that wouldn't back me out of it, but I like talking to you. Perhaps you would explain more. Not that I'm questioning it.
This has been hard enough. No need to make it any harder.
All right. We'll smash in the window.
With a firm grip, you raise the pry bar. A glint of light catching on the tip. Call down the hammer of truth and justice. Release your secrets, Lorry Cabin.
We can say, fuck the police, and then smash it. You're the police. That's not to say you might not be into it, so, you could say the racist catchphrase, or smash it apologetically. Despite abandoning the sorry cop thought, I don't really feel that it's abandoned. This is cracking me up, and the window.
The window shatters, and droplets of glass fly everywhere, shattering over the lorry floor and pavement.
Great.
Subtle.
He sticks his hand in the window like a common car thief and opens
The
it.
smell of cigarettes and perfume welcomes you. The cabin inside is plastered with old movie posters. Actresses smile from the walls.
Homie.
There's a radio transmitter in the front and a toolbox tucked under the driver's seat. Some tools lie scattered near the pedals.
You can admire the posters, examine the radio, check the pedals. Well, maybe there's time for all of it.
These are movie posters. featuring starlets from long-forgotten films from the 20s, the teens, even the 90s of the last century.
So, I guess the Disco Elysium world had films for longer than we did, huh? Still, if you're into things from the 20s, when you have talked with the Pale Driver, sometimes.
One of them particularly catches your eye, a centerfold of an ingenue attached right above the back seat.
How's it looking?
There's definitely perfume in the air. It's spicy, with a hint of amberette, wafting through the bitter air of the cabin.
Huh. A little bit creepy to go into someone's house and sniff, but essential investigation. So what's the smell?
The remnants of a sweet juniper-scented perfume, probably Grenade No. 5.
And how about the centerfold? How?
The actress is draped in a sheathed dress, one of her shoulders bared. The faded remains of an autograph run across the poster. She's looking past the camera.
How vivid.
A feeling of tenderness washes over you. A longing even, perhaps. And gentle tragedy.
Inland Empire. What it looks like when you're in your feelings.
Wait, doesn't she resemble someone you know? But you can't put your finger on whom exactly.
Well, that ends that, I
The
guess.
actresses and the rare actor all smile you a warm goodbye. A radio transmitter is attached to the dashboard and a toolbox sits under the driver's seat.
How about the radio?
Looks like the frequency dial is absent. It requires a key to work, but the key has been removed, likely by the missing lady driver.
Strange. There are so many radio stations saved here. Must be over 100 at least.
Is she listening to chatter or just a music fan? What do you think?
For contacting an entire fleet of lorrymen, for example.
Oh,
This is all shortwave, UW and UKV.
alright.
Looks like we are dealing with an impressive organizational tool. The nerve center of a huge operation.
And we
With quite a range too.
We can tell that just from looking at it? Alright. Then I guess it's a little amazing that nothing was found sooner. Is there anything we can do with the radio?
Doesn't look like it. It's completely inoperable without a dial key.
And you don't want me to pry it out or anything? Alright. What else is there?
The smell of 1,000 cigarettes, some dead actresses, and a rusty old toolbox under the seat.
It's always good to have a rusty old toolbox. How about the pedals?
You wedge yourself under the steering wheel to get a better look. Seems like the few tools lying around here, a hammer, a pair of pliers, a rusty wrench, have been casually thrown there by the disorganized driver.
My floor is also like that.
But one odd detail does catch your eye. A piece of sandpaper has been glued to the throttle.
Why would anyone glue a piece of sandpaper to the gas pedal?
Sandpaper? A novel technique. Must be to offer some extra grip to the driver's foot.
Are you the extra set of footprints in the yard?
Yes?
It would rub off the pattern from the driver's right boot sole.
Do the honors, he thinks. Connect it yourself.
One of the footprints at the crime scene had an aberration. One sole was smoother than the other.
Which means that the missing lady driver was present at the lynching.
Well, now we're looking for her, twofold, are we? And she's also the one running the drug trade. What a handful. First the drug smuggling, now this. How deep does this rabbit hole go? Or say, women. Shake your head. Always up to something. That's multiple somethings. Always? Have you found this before? So, we can say what a handful first is. I mean, I guess how deep does the rabbit hole go? Goes sort of in exploratory direction.
Now we know for certain who's the missing 8th person at the lynching.
Well,
Do you think that Hardy and his boys could also be involved in the drug operation?
well, how safe do we feel talking to them? I mean, we talked to Everard. Does that count for anything? Maybe not. You could pry. We could ask. You could say definitely. Or I think the entire union is involved, maybe all of Martinase, or not necessarily. The lady driver could have kept it a secret. She did apparently keep secrets from her only friend on the fleet. Or this would fit with what Joyce told us, but I don't want to make any assumptions. Huh. I like connecting things like that.
Understood. We should still go and see what Titus has got to say on the matter. Are we finished with the lorry?
The movie stars are still smiling from the walls. The radio transmitter sits on the center console, and a faint smell of perfume is in the air.
Are you gonna recognize the scent, I wonder? Well, why not look at the toolbox?
A metallic drawer slides out from the seat. It's empty, except for a folded newspaper.
How about it?
It's an issue of Périphérique from last Wednesday. A piece of paper falls out from its pages.
What's up?
It looks like an article ripped out from a radio enthusiast magazine. Complex mathematical equations explain the basics of something called the Ulan frequency system.
Huh.
These formulas look oddly painful. Maybe it's the hangover, but they give you a headache.
I really wonder if that appears differently for people in playthroughs with a better logic stat and all that.
The Ulan frequency system?
Hey?
I've never heard of that before. I know of FM, AM, UKV, but...
Well, interesting.
The pull-out toolbox slides back into its nest. The rest is as it was. Radio, posters, a trace of motor oil smell under all the cigarettes.
And now a broken window.
You close the rusty old lorry door.
Great. I think we got everything. A word, detective?
Ooh.
Before we return to Joyce?
Okay. What's up? What do you want to say? Or what do you want to autosave?
We've finished here. Let's quickly debrief and go over what we found, so we don't do it in front of the company rep.
Hey, that's prudent. You're really getting to know the patterns and rhythm of Harry Dubious over here. Seems like something police would do. What do you think of all this, Kim? I mean, it better seem like that. You could say I don't think there's anything to discuss. I'm horribly curious what that leads to, but we want to be close. Let's go over it.
Honestly, I'm quite worried by what we've seen so far. The evidence seems to point to a rather extensive and well-organized operation. I'm especially intrigued by that radio transmitter.
Nice.
Particularly the sheer number of stations it can connect. Looks like this alleged drug trade casts a wide net.
Okay.
I'm not sure what the Ulan frequencies are all about, but they may hold some significance. Perhaps it's a better way to connect between fleets while avoiding frequency bleed, or maybe it's used to tap into RCM networks.
Well, I'm glad that you have an enthusiasm for the technical.
Listening in on your calls between you and your station, a worrying prospect.
Well, I mean, I guess everyone already knew that you lost your memory.
And last but not least, it looks like the Hardy Boys knew this driver, as we know that she was present at the lynching. This may be the Union connection we've been searching for.
Chilling.
The probe and the case converged, he thinks. This was quite the find.
Then we've got to bring it up then. And we could ask, what about the movie posters? How do they factor into all this? Or this is connected to the Union, or will the RCM open an investigation into this? Please tell me I get to choose all of these, please.
As elegant as they are, I don't think they are relevant to the drug trade.
What if they involve code names?
Don't be fooled. Desire always plays a role.
Well, I'm trying to get you, to discover that you are bisexual starting today, ending by the end of the game. So, can we... Does this dialogue option, a lot of women there, especially for a lady driver's cabin, does that dialogue option... to Kim saying, hey, homosexuals exist? Do you know, do we have hints?
Yes, well...
No, nothing?
Unimportant.
Alright, so it's a long process before you figure out the existence of homosexuals. So, we can say this is connected to the... Hey, okay, do I want to... Do I want to explore any more of
As
that?
elegant.
The
Don't be funny.
cinephile?
Yes, well,
Okay, nothing.
Unimportant.
All the same. Okay, so this is connected to the Union?
like Joyce told us, yes, logistically. But don't expect to bust this open during our stay here.
Oh,
At best, this is an angle we can use against them, to other ends, as extra ammunition.
huh. Maybe I haven't been taking good enough notes, but it doesn't immediately come to mind what specifically needs the ammunition, but I'm sure we'll see. Okay, and will we open an investigation?
We should return to the murder case. See what Joyce tells us about the lynching.
Hmm.
When we are done for the day, I call my station and suggest our narcotics department look into it.
Okay, so even though the option to pressure the Hardy Boys about knowing the lady driver has appeared, we could go to Joyce first.
There are more than enough grounds to start an official investigation, sometime later when we are done here. We do not want to get caught in that.
Caught in what?
The fact that one hasn't started already gives me pause. An investigation, I mean. Especially if the Madrid grouping is involved, and I can't imagine they aren't. It's certainly worrisome.
That's right. I also, since I pretended to know, I don't know if there's gonna be like a opportunity for you to like say more context. Mantra group, how about it? Corruption though?
All the same, I don't like the idea of internal affairs descending on the matter. That won't help anyone either.
And we can ask debrief over.
Debrief over. After you.
Alright, here we are. In the rain. I forget what I put on. Okay, you were busting racists and saying fuck the police in the mesh top still. You know, it's... I don't know that there's anything else that I would want to put on particularly. Yeah, it's all good. It's all good, probably. -1 to drama, +1 to visual calculus. What was I using visual calculus for? Who needs eyes? Who needs to look at anything? Huh. Well, since I came in here, I guess I'll swap that out. Even if it is a -1 to authority. Yeah, okay, get out of there. Talking to Joyce then. How exciting. What progress. I wasn't quite sure. Is that flavor text or is that new? Do we got a minute? It's prompting me, I don't know, encouraging me to click, but it's probably just flavor text.
I saw you poking around in Lady Driver's Lorry.
Oh.
She in trouble?
Okay. Phew. Oh. There's no easy way to start this. That we're breaking into the vehicle of someone you're worried about. We can say, no trouble, gonna be fine. Or there's gonna be an investigation, or I can't disclose to you. Well, maybe it doesn't hurt to start with, she's gonna be fine.
Oh man, that's like a load off my mind. All that stress was messing up my rhymes.
Well, I don't know how obvious it is that we broke right in there, and if that supports the idea that she's gonna be fine. But what's the plan with those rhymes? Wanna tell me where I can get a little bit of music to sing at karaoke?
Oh, you know. Tommy Lee Homme's gonna be a musician. Sprechgesang, but with beats. I've got a lot of free time on the road to hone my craft.
Sure looks like it. Do people around here have an umbrella or anything? And what's up with your name?
Tommy Lam was taken.
Oh.
My real name's Jerry Lafitte. Tommy's way better.
Hey, you know, it suits you, maybe.
It's more him.
Yeah. We can say I have another question.
The man taps his fingers rhythmically against his arm.
Low conceptualization, as always. As we try poetry, do I want to see you failing poetry right exactly now? Do I want to see you failing poetry right exactly now? Yes, I do.
Your best verse. You don't even have a bad verse in here. Just tumbleweed and liquor stains. Wait, no. What are you doing?
But then it's always like this strange kind of painful. It's, I did want to see. Okay. But was there any... The last thing you said was, I had another question, actually. The question is poetry. Here we go.
That's
She broke
brutal,
me.
man. But you know, time will...
Time will what?
No, stop. He's already mortified.
And we can only lock into the failure. This is not the healing path that I wanted to be on. We can say, no, Tommy, these are my rhymes. Listen. She fucked me to my blood.
That's,
Please.
In the name of God, what are you doing?
Good question. God isn't here. There's only me, a little gamer. We can say it's not real, guys. It's not my actual thoughts. It's a poem. Does the other one damage your morale again? That's a monetary expense. We can say it's a poem. Okay, it would, as awesome as it would be to double down, this also amuses me.
Yeah, I get that, and it's cool, but...
Here we go.
Yeah, I get it. These are your rhymes. They're from your life. Doesn't matter if they're robust, they're honest. So, thanks, man.
It's uncomfortable to see amateur art a lot of the time, but also it's something honest. Fuck the case, fuck everything, total doom. She's always there. I'll never be the same again. Well, does that count as introspection?
Yes. And I also thank you for stopping. We have a drug investigation to return to. How about we do that?
Awesome. Alright. In the little loading screen hints where it's like you can do some things while Kim is asleep. Was asleep while he's out of there. You can be sneaky. Okay, like for one, it feels bad. Oh, took different paths. Bread and butter. For one, it feels bad to, I don't know, be hidden and whatnot. Even though you're an independent individual. But also I wonder if the poetry was possible to do once he was asleep. Just from, I don't know, just from how much more it burns with a witness, especially one held in esteem, you know, especially one so dignified, especially dear Kim over here. But yeah, let's go to Joyce before going to the Hardy Boys for whatever steps may be next. Partly passing time before you can be bisexual. And partly...
You're back. Good.
finding out
What
what's
can
up
I help you with? Not an umbrella, I hope. I don't need one myself, you see.
with the raincoat that you'll pass down onto your daughters and their daughters.
All around you, rain keeps falling down. On the wooden boards she's standing on, and on the water around you.
And we can say, I could use a coat like that. The rain is freezing. Or we could say, no need, tell me something. I mean, you do have a coat like that. Does calling attention to hers sort of underline your difference in socioeconomic status? I mean, there is no need. But pretend there is.
Sadly, I need this one myself. It's hydrophobic, repels water, almost magically. The company makes them for offshore platform personnel. Very sturdy.
Excellent.
What I can do for you is answer some questions. Nothing like talking to pass a rainy day.
Nice. We can say, talked to Everett, Claire, spoke with the lorryman. I believe that's... Okay, so there's a couple of ways forward in here. I guess the one I'm curious about immediately is...
Yes, my eyes on the harbour have sent word to that effect. What have you discovered?
It's been 2 seconds. Do your eyes in the harbor, are you connected to them by radio? Or does someone, like, run their little feet over here? Where are your eyes located? What I'm asking exactly. Or we've discovered enough to conclude. I'm curious.
It doesn't really matter. And I do apologize for the surveillance. Wild Pines can't afford to be blind at a time like this.
Being surveilled by everyone. And then, as the radio suggests, or as Kim suggested from the radio suggesting, we're even being surveilled by the drug trade.
In any case, it's a relief to know someone has looked into it. If I may ask, will there be an official investigation? I assume you discovered there is an operation.
Well, it's still operating off a lot of assumptions, right? I mean, did you have a really complex radio for other reasons?
If there is an investigation, it will be part of an ongoing operation, subject to confidentiality. I'm sure you understand.
Confidential, as long as her eyes in the harbor don't include one of the Lorry men themselves.
Of course, detectives. In any case, you've held up your end of our arrangement. I trust you with the rest. Now it's my turn.
How exciting.
I wouldn't normally break protocol like this, but the situation demands it. If you don't solve this murder, I'm afraid we may have a bloodbath on our hands.
Well, you sound so urgent now. It really undercuts the act of holding back earlier.
The words bloodbath sound cold in her mouth. They taste of iron and strawberries.
How vivid. What was that about a bloodbath? Or I've already heard about a connection between the lynching and the strike, but I need your testimony. Well, please tell me I get to click both of them?
Yes. I'm afraid this strike may descend into a small-scale civil war, with possible consequences for all of Rivershoal West.
Interesting.
Since you are sharing, ma'am, this is also the RCM's worst-case scenario.
So you'd consider us aligned on this front, huh?
Then we're on the same page, as grim as it may be.
And we can say I need your testimony.
I have an indirect role to play, I'm sad to say. My employer experienced a momentary lapse of faith in me. In that moment, they elected to deploy a private military contractor as an insurance measure. They called it my security detail.
The guy in that tree was your security detail? What's the lapse of faith?
They were dispatched after I relayed the union's initial offer.
So, muscle to help you be more intimidating?
Every worker...
A member of the board. I tried to convince my employer it was simply a piece of rhetoric, or a joke. They did not appreciate the humor.
Wow. So, do you need security?
Absolutely not. These mercenaries are muscle, pure and simple. They are meant to intimidate the Union into surrendering.
I get that, I suppose. And even though someone has died, you believe more in talking it out?
Who are they, exactly?
Crenell, an Oranese military company. As far as I know, 3 arrived in Martinase. They report to me sporadically, but they do not answer to me. To be frank, our relationship is deteriorating. They wear ceramic armor, have semi-automatic weapons, and years of combat experience. They also have trauma and stressor disorder, and no idea how to conduct themselves in an urban civilian environment.
PTSD. Or your world's version of it, huh?
So, what happened?
The story is, one of them, the Colonel, I don't know his real name, sexually assaulted a local woman while he was drunk and separated from his unit. This allowed some of the more militant Union members to subdue him.
So you knew.
He was taken out behind the whirling in rags and lynched last Sunday night.
So that puts a time frame on it.
Nothing. Mr. Clare refuses to let me into the harbor. I have not been able to discuss this matter with anyone there. The remaining 2 Crenell contractors carry out their orders, for now.
And where are they?
It's a smokescreen. In secret, they are conducting an independent military tribunal into the lynching. Once this investigation is concluded, executions will follow.
Wait, so... the guys you hired, am I getting this right? The guys your company hired are about to start killing Union guys?
What is the nature of this so-called investigation?
Whether to execute one, some, or all of the Union militants.
Your company is out of control, I think. Or...
It'll be all of them. The decision is already made.
Well, we can start this out by saying you've made a mess here, or this is not disco. Or maybe the investigations can team up, share resources and intelligence. Team up with the implied massacre? You could say it's not very disco. That's a little funny, but my immediate reaction is more like this is a mess. Curious about both.
It is very far from disco. My only hope is that you provide a single, concrete suspect before the mercenaries indiscriminately pick theirs. Simply put,
Oh god.
if you don't pin this on someone good and do it fast, they will identify and execute everyone present at the lynching. This in turn will force the Union to respond.
It's really interesting how, was it Elizabeth the lawyer over there, is trying to defend their actions by saying that they act collectively as a group and we're all equally responsible, and so none of them can be sentenced, but apparently someone out here doesn't care about that.
The Debarder have over 2,000 men. It will be 1,000 to 1.
Have you ever seen a hornet invade a beehive, Lieutenant? It's not pretty.
You're saying they're that well armed?
These men work in tandem using semi and fully automatic firearms. Their armor is virtually impenetrable to muzzle-loaded weapons, even yours. Most Union workers don't have guns at all.
Oh.
As I said, a bloodbath.
Someone who works for you is going to try to solve this by conducting a mass shooting. So we can say I can't see it happen. Too many things would have to go wrong first. In this life, Harry, where you've woken up just like this? Or isn't this a pretty bleak scenario you're describing? Is it bad that gun violence to me seems more realistic than recovery in some cases? I don't want it to. I don't want it to seem that way. We can say I think confrontation is inevitable. It's
Many
bleak.
bleak scenarios have already come true. Nameless, badgeless detective of the citizens' militia.
Well, thanks for the moment of self-reflection.
All we can do is keep the rest from going the same way. One single concrete suspect delivered into civil court, and I may be able to defuse this situation.
Okay. But it sounds like offering them up as a human sacrifice. Just the one? What can you tell me about Crenell?
Not much. Their public resume is relatively good, as far as private military contractors go. I believe they were once called Downwell.
Down a deep black well.
Thanks, Inland Empire.
They boast a long list of clients. Saint-Baptiste, Welchman Lorenz, Eendracht. A warning sign, however. The operations concerned all take place in third or fourth world countries. Guarding facilities, escort missions and such.
I wonder, what does third and fourth world mean in this game? I think in real life we only have third, and it's to mean not associated with the United States or the Soviet Union during the Cold War.
Meaning they're used to operating in war zones.
Oh.
Yes, all the good conflict corridors, Supramundi, Yesut, the Seminese Islands, countries that don't have a good record reporting atrocious military conduct on their soil.
Well, anything else?
Sadly, no. Before this happened, I had little interest in them. Now that I do, I don't have the resources.
Are you a fallen sort of executive, sort of whatever
If you
the hell?
still have access to the ICP's database, you could run a better background check than I ever could. It may take some time, though.
And how much time do we have?
Do you know a lot about the inner workings of the RCM and the ICP, man?
I'm curious.
In my line of work, it pays to do your research. I was prepared to deal with the RCM. I did not think I'd be dealing with a group like Crenell.
Could you contact the company and tell them to call them off? there's reason to, right? And also, does this mean that we're currently on soil that has a low chance of reporting horrifying military action? I guess that seems likely.
I have. And they will. However, these orders take time to reach what is basically a rogue unit out in the field here. Until they do, it's all on us.
And how about the assault?
Or he didn't. This is information passed on to me from some teenagers loitering around the canal.
Oh.
I cannot testify by it.
What did the teenagers say? Who did
The remaining
passing on?
contractors. Their tribunal. It's what they believe.
And I guess Titus already confirmed it. What did the teens say?
That the man was killed because he assaulted a local woman. I've asked around a bit. This seems to be the accepted story around Martinase.
And the way that the Hardy Boys talked about it, or regretted bringing it up, didn't exactly seem like they were bragging or lying. It seemed like they didn't want it to be known, or
The
it was too
lieutenant
much.
consults his notebook, his eyebrows knitted in concentration.
Odd. We haven't heard any reports about an assault in connection with the lynching. Where did it take place? And when?
Last Sunday night, at the Whirling in Rags, the hostel by the gates. Supposedly, the colonel was drunk, maybe on narcotics too. Either way, he's alleged to have sexually assaulted a woman. Sometime later, a group of dock workers got their hands on him.
And who was this?
That's a good question, officer. I don't have the slightest idea. As I said, it's a rumor. About a rumor. In any case, it's what the colonel's remaining colleagues believe.
You
Alright.
meet her soon enough, you feel.
You feel? I mean, there could be more than one, but there's already a missing lady driver. Who else is lurking behind the scenes? Did you know the colonel?
If you mean did I see him alive? Yes. But I did not know him.
His name?
Lurly,
Oh,
his service name. A nom de guerre, most likely. He wouldn't divulge his full name. Only one of them did. A bad sign if there ever was one.
speaking like people who mean to commit crimes with impunity. Tell me about the others.
One is a man, Corty, they call him. A nickname as well. The other a woman, Phyllis DePaul. Corty is the gunner, I believe. DePaul is a radio operator.
What would you say was his eye color? The deceased.
And is it easy to remember if you've only met him once?
She closes her eyes, trying to picture the man's face, then shakes her head.
I can't remember.
Well, he's gone now.
That's alright, man. Anything else? Nationality? What would you say was his age?
Are we testing her reliability as a witness?
He was 40. Or 50. It's hard to say which. He had a combat injury on his lower jaw. It made it difficult to estimate his age, or gauge his facial expressions.
Indeed. This matches the dental reconstruction we saw on the body.
Oh,
What else? Nationality? Accent?
I guess we wouldn't have known his accent.
He was, Occidental, I think. Light brown hair, a mixed accent. Oranese. Or Messinian, maybe. His injury gave him an accent all his own. In a way, it was humanizing. He had to learn to speak through it. Through the injury. That's all I know, I guess. I only met him once.
I don't know if I could recall that much about someone I only met once. And where's those other two running around?
They've gone to ground, as it were. I don't recommend seeking them out. For one, they're almost certainly armed to the teeth.
So I love having stupid ideas, so is there anything distracting and superfluous we could get him to waste ammunition on?
They don't have the same respect for the Revachol citizens' militia as I do. To put it bluntly, they think you're vigilantes. Ghetto savages. It will not be a fruitful meeting.
Vigilantes from the mercenaries? Alright, we still need to know where they are.
You're likely to run into them eventually. When that happens, I'll be in a better position to mediate if I don't appear involved.
And... huh. Scab leader, murder, bad reply, clothes didn't fit right, scab leader, built like a brick, didn't pass background check. Okay, it's fascinating. You're usually failing logic checks, right? And I'm not even particularly motivated to press, but that's that's too fascinating not to.
One is obviously the scab leader at the harbor gates. The one chanting the idiotic slogans. He's barely maintaining his disguise.
Oh. Okay, it's definitely stupid, but I think... Did I think he was just wearing tight clothes for, like, hot boy summer? Okay, so no. Here we go.
The other has a vantage point in a building south of the roundabout. They were keeping tabs on you while you were canvassing the lorry drivers.
South of the roundabout. Huh. Logic success, huh? Feels good for once. We can say one must be the goon in ill-fitting work clothes by the harbor gates, the scab leader.
That may be so. I still hope you heed my advice. There's no need to kick the hornet's nest.
That guy? He's plotting to kill all of the Hardy Boys? Okay.
For all your talk of averting this catastrophe, the situation at the gate is a powder keg. Does this not bother you?
Of course it bothers me, Lieutenant. But my hands are tied. How would my employer react if it appeared I were intervening on behalf of the Union?
Aren't you comfortable enough to retire yet? And, like, lose your job and, like, save some lives? No.
Your concern may be appearances. Ours is keeping the peace.
Divergence in priorities. And how about the building overlooking the roundabout?
That would afford a good vantage point. In any case, it's practically inaccessible.
Practically, but possibly?
Where is your radio for contacting them, if I may ask?
Whoa.
You have an earpiece?
How about it?
Heavens no. I'm not an undercover agent. There's a short wave at the ship's wheel.
Well, that was more fruitful than expected. How about other questions?
I hope I can answer it better.
I guess, how much time do we have?
Until the executions start? Truthfully, I don't know. It depends on their progress identifying the members of the lynch mob, and their impatience.
Well, they've seemed sort of locked down, and this is wildly uncomfortable.
They don't report their progress to you?
They're a rogue unit.
Not on this matter. I'm afraid they consider this a personal initiative.
Well, that's unsettling.
5 days, not more. Maybe sooner.
Then, do the Hardy Boys and Union also know that that massive scab over there is a mercenary? Would they have seen him?
It's a matter of days, not weeks.
Huh. I guess that's enough of the
I am sorry to
Lorry
have been the bearer
Drivers.
of bad news. If there is anything else I can help you with, please ask.
I guess I'm curious about the tattoos.
Of course. Excuse my hesitation before.
Huh.
For about half a minute, in silence.
How about it?
It was taken with a trigger not long ago. This is the man's upper body. There were no more markings on his hands or legs.
We can just observe the expression on her face.
Her mouth is relaxed. The accordion lines near her mouth vanish. The pearls of her eyes move slowly on the photo's surface.
What do you think?
Sorry. I was trying to see if I can read the web of interdependencies between these points. The stars.
What do they mean?
I can't.
Oh.
But that's how you read this story. The points themselves don't have letters, numbers, anything. Their size, location on the body, and distance from each other tells you what they represent.
Oh. But as tattoos, wouldn't the distance from each other vary as you grow? Outward, perhaps? How about blooms?
Close. Port cities. This is an Oronese map of the waterways, a sailor's tattoo worn by wayfarers of the Dolorian century. Over 300 years ago, the sailors would mark their bodies to map their travels.
That's the second mention of a map so far. I don't imagine they're related. What's the use of it?
The sailor's soul would use it to fly back home if they should die abroad. This is a sort of contraption to be reeled back in by. The silver cord, they would call it.
Where is he now?
We can say this one is going nowhere but the morgue, or I've spoken to him, the soul is fastened inside his corpse, or this one has flown quite far by now. I think I've been fixated enough on the investigation that I've ignored a couple of hints at the supernatural. So it's a weird time to bring it up, maybe. Maybe you wouldn't want me bringing it up in front of the Wild Pines rep for a company. But let's say I talked to the corpse.
That is precisely what the sailors feared when they drew these maps. A fear of drowning within one's own corpse.
So, if you're unfazed by that, are you around people that say that kind of thing? What travels did the dead man make?
Quite a few. Vredefort, the Oronese capital, traditionally stands on the right shoulder.
Huh.
He started somewhere near here, I think.
What next?
Then he made his way to the Pretto Grande, through what I think must be the Stads Canal, an artificial channel through the Occident. From the Pretto, he sailed to the Insulindic Ocean, first the Semines Islands, then this,
What is it?
Revachol.
Oh,
Those are the two
right on the heart.
constants. Vredefort on the shoulder, and Revachol in the heart. They started the tradition of these maps right after the discovery of Insulinde, at the dawn of the Interinsulary Age.
You said you can't read it.
This seems like reading it.
I can't. This man was no sailor, and these are no ports. I can understand geographic fragments, but not their meaning.
Oh,
Somewhere in an office lit by a single green desk lamp, Captain Ptolemaeus Price, 58, bald and bespectacled, is writing in a ledger on his desk. Rows and rows of days and weeks, laconic remarks in a single column. Patrol, case, vacation, injured. In Martinase, looking into Krenel, he writes in one. Then the man puts down his pen and rubs his temples with both hands. Outside, there is a siren. Distant gunshots on the streets of the Jamrock Quarter.
we could say this man is no brother of mine, but this is his service history. Oh, you're reading it?
That makes sense to me. We have no more use for a map of the waterways, just like we don't need sailors the way we used to. This is what the custom would morph into on the Occident. Mercenary tattoos.
Wow, there's a whole history of it then. Who could tell me more?
His platoon members? The other contractors. Though I do not suggest you go and show them that picture. This man was their friend and comrade.
Okay.
Challenge accepted.
Physical
I say
instrument.
do it.
Ah, we can say I need the information. Mark it down. Why not? More is more.
Do what you have to do, detective. I don't think deciphering that tattoo should come before public security. But if you should wade into the mob to find out, I couldn't stop you.
I wonder if that's a way to get straight up killed.
We will be careful, ma'am.
And that's all for the tattoos, I guess.
Is there anything else I can help you with?
Just that we talked to Everett Clare.
You have. And how did you like Mr. Clare?
So, I thought you were watching us. I thought you knew.
Finally, time to choose sides.
What's with that decisiveness? we can say he's a beautiful man, beautiful and just, I didn't, or he's the hero of the workers' movement, he's the champion I've sworn fealty to, or he's a bloated rainbow socialist, or I can do business with him, for a socialist he's reasonable, or he's not the champion I've chosen. I was just sworn fealty to you, And the cause of capital. It's not important if I liked him, I was just doing my job. Oh. Oh. Yeah. Like from this side of the screen, outside of this game is got an irritating way of speaking. But I think it's fun to say something extreme, right? Say something extreme. Because why wouldn't you do so? In the pursuit of exploring everything. You could say beautiful and just. It's okay, as great as it would be to say something extreme, the sleaze is incredibly strong.
Oh, come on now. He has his uses. How else would he have stayed in power all these years? Or wait, actually,
How about it?
corruption. That's how he's done it. Fantastic, worm-like corruption, reaching into the bowels of the earth.
The position of my unusual colleague does not reflect official policy. I hope you understand. The RCM does not pick sides.
How fun.
Of course. And I don't expect you to share anything he told you with me. I'm not a corrupt worm myself. However, if you felt like discussing something, how could I stop you? Are we not human? Are we not curious to hear another person's take? It's only natural. We would only be gossiping.
I'm getting sleazed on from every direction. Hello. Hello.
Tell her she'll like you for it.
Electrochemistry, you are not allowed to hold the judgment. We could say, Mr. Everard is helping me find my gun. Ew. This is terrible. This is terrible. We're clicking it.
Oh. That's so helpful of him.
So just, I don't like him. He's helping me find my gun.
The lieutenant looks at you, and you can swear his jaw muscle is trembling.
Everything suck.
He's able to contain the anger and surprise.
Everything suck forever.
Conventional police officers sometimes lose their guns. They then go around and tell people about this, to gauge their reactions. It's all part of detecting.
That was such measured phrasing, but from the tone of it, I feel that you would like to throttle us a little bit right now, Kim.
Incredible. Simply incredible. And how is it going?
And you
Has
could
this
repeat it.
detecting produced a gun?
You could have a simple no. You could say, Mr. Everhart says it's almost ready to be found soon. Or just again, he's helping me find my gun. Huh. It seems really bizarre to repeat it. Let's do that.
Yes. As you said.
I'm confused too, ma'am.
Please, don't get him in a loop. If he gets in a loop, it will last forever. Ask him to say something else, please.
Well, that's funny.
Of course. Thank you for the advice. I'm glad you were here to assist. Your other dealings with Everard are still of considerable interest to me.
That felt like a nod to being in the system of a game. Something that I've only sort of tested out on Kim.
The lieutenant will be more lenient toward sharing those, hopefully.
Oh my. We don't want another click of finding the gun. So we go on.
Detective. Should something come up later down the road, don't be afraid to drop by for a chat. Until then, is there anything I can help you with?
Okay, so only the matter of having visited Everard whatsoever. I guess when I take some mission from Everard Claire, she might have more to say about it. But maybe that's all for now. Might as well see the Hardy Boys, or Okay, so we only got a mission to talk to the scab leader about the tattoos. However, okay, it's not time to see Mr. Smoker on the balcony yet. But what made the other mercenary impossible to get to, right? I'm glad this is still open, I suppose. I don't think anything different is around here, would it be? Probably not. Just an overflowing mailbox and... Okay. Someone... If I'm trying to get to the Hardy Boys next, someone is probably not accessible in here? Or are they? Where would I find them? Because I know we were being watched from a building. Here's the balcony, here's other rooms, and none of this really correlates with with the outside of the building, I suppose. Nothing up here, I suppose. This is just a room that we've already been in. No sense of direction, really, whatsoever. I guess there's only the balcony to maybe go out onto, but I... Oh, did that loading screen tip just say to say weird things? Yeah, so here's out on a balcony, and where were we being watched from? This window up here? I guess it's not quite time to go up here yet. But it's nice that there's ways around. I guess. Okay, I don't suppose that the flashlight helps anything in a perfectly average building. Nothing about it. Alright, residents of the building, I guess I'm just shining a flashlight around all of you. And then if I can't find who could possibly be talked to... I got the same loading screen tip once again. Just a simple, don't be afraid to say weird things. People love it when you say weird things. Oh right, there was a box around here. Before we get back to Hardy Boys. Let's see what's in boxes. Have I already seen what's in boxes? Oh, orange bum hat. Why is it called that? Why is it called that? I don't think there's... Yeah, I don't think that's anything in particular. Just some bored kids around these parts as we make our way back. And then I've tried to inspect this wall a couple of times. Okay, God, was it visual calculus that it needed? Because I don't think that
Just an ordinary wall. Nothing to see here.
It's conceptualization. Still locked. I mean, I don't think that any of the clothes helped with that. Just minus to rhetoric, plus to endurance. All these things. Huh. This doesn't count, right? Does it? I guess I don't know until I check. If putting
Just
on
an
your...
ordinary wall. Nothing to see here.
Okay, no, they mean points as in points. Alright, then I might as well leave you in the dramatic mesh tank. Alright, here we go. Still around the same area of the building, too. I don't know, I kind of wonder where we would find out how to access where we were being watched from. How to access that. It's not entirely straightforward, but there keeps being, I don't know, more places to the map than I thought there were. Oh, right, since we're near here, and reluctantly, we've just stolen a personal photograph from your belongings. Hello, important man. Hello, union man. You still got a sandwich? You got any sandwich for me? Is that the is that sharing? Is that unionization when you give me a sandwich?
Officer, the mere sight of police in Martinase makes me feel safer already. How can I help you?
Well, so do we have to have the photo like this? Okay, there's okay, damaged ledger, yeah, mug, handwritten note. Not quite things that were okay. Wait, was it in items interact? Oh, photo of a happy couple. So it's not in interacting. Have I misremembered which individual it is? Can you put that back and have this in your hand or anything? Well, it doesn't really seem so. Well, I don't want to sell it by accident. Have I mistaken you for...
I like playing in the dark. Sharpens your nocturnal instincts. Feels like being on recon again.
And we can ask about firearms. Or ask what makes you so proud. Huh. Should I put even more into composure? How difficult is it to look at the homosexual underground? Huh. I don't know, maybe there's no downsides. Are there no downsides? Well, it looks like we can't put more into composure anyway. But if you wanted more Inland Empire, it's there. How about Shivers? Yeah, maybe. Maybe indeed. I'm not quite sure which one yet.
Still, all you see is an old soldier refusing to replace his uniform with a civilian attire.
Anything else I can assist you with, officer?
We can say I found your guard booth.
Yes. The Debardeurs Union pays me to stand vigil during the nights. Not out of any political allegiance, mind you.
Oh, so just for the cash, just for the coin?
I'm an old man. Don't sleep more than a few hours every night anyway, and money is tight.
He feels like he has to justify himself for some reason.
Is it because of the way he was speaking out against his friend here, but you're both kind of working for the working for the same thing? You must have seen something on the night of the murder. Your booth looks right into the yard. How about it?
Yes, it does. Unfortunately, I wasn't working that night. Been on a 2-week leave since last Monday.
Well,
It's a private matter. Nothing to do with your investigation.
alright.
You see, officer, Rene is the kind of man who would rather die than admit he needs medical assistance or, God forbid, sick it. A real man's man is just gonna ride it out.
Well, don't you know, that just makes more trouble for your doctor later. I mean, you're practically sabotaging your military unit that doesn't exist anymore. Well, it's an idea.
I'm fine, goddammit. Mind your own business. It's nothing. Just got to cut back on coffee.
Does your electrochemistry tell you the same things that mine does? 'Cause ours just said that. Who was working your shift?
No one. The boss has been unmanned since last Monday. There's no other guard. It's just me.
Lonely?
No one has been guarding the container yard since last Monday.
And who knew that?
Yes. It's not actually an issue. I mean,
Well, you sound kind of uncomfortable.
Look, officers, the container yard doesn't actually need a guardsman. Never had one before Rene. Monsieur Claire had that booth built specially for him. It's mostly decorative.
Decorative how?
the possibility of someone being in there is enough to discourage any ill-minded individuals.
I mean, that's fine and all, but if we're talking about nobody seeing the lynching.
Evrard created this job for Rene because he knows the Royal Carabiniers' pension of honor and PTSD
Whoa.
isn't something a man can live off. A decorated Kingsman collecting tear reflects bad on the whole neighborhood. His words.
Strange. Or not strange. Okay, I guess the strange part would be that that you rail against the union to begin with, and you're working for them. We can say, he gets it, big guy's looking after the small and everyone working together, I love it. Or rail against dependency. Dependency only weakens a man further. Do or die, there's no middle ground. Or, Rene's but one man, we need a program. Get all the elderly folk back on the job market. Keep folks motivated. Ow. Ouch, working forever. You could say Rene should rent out his services, invest the profit, get a few more guys. Expand and repeat wage work is a dead end. It's funny how there's more than one avenue for that, or there's absolutely nothing wrong with tear collecting. It's my side thing too, and hold up the tear bag. Huh. Well, that one's strangely relevant. Strangely relevant. I wanted to click on the first one.
Can we conclude the topic of my guard boost now?
Well, is it kind of petty if I want to click on the other one too?
Yes, it
and
does.
just sort of
Unfortunately, I wasn't well.
just
It's a
sort
private-
of
see,
go
I'm fine.
through
No
the
one-
all
no
of
one
the
has been-
Yes.
all of the
Look,
single
officers,
every
Evrard
single one of
created this
those.
job for
How about
Rene.
the tear bag?
Oh, I didn't mean to imply there's something wrong with that. I do it too. Everyone does it. It's an excellent side thing.
Awesome.
Yes, yes, yes. Can we conclude the topic of my guard boost now?
Well, we can conclude it twice apparently.
He is not going to become an entrepreneur.
You can say I saw a picture in there. Who's the girl? Yeah.
She is nobody. This is none of your concern, and I refuse to discuss my private affairs with the RCM.
The lady is Jeanne-Marie Beaulieu, and she sure as hell wasn't a nobody.
It's exceedingly funny that you refuse to discuss your private matters with the RCM, but the guy right next to you is really eager to do so. That's what friends are for, right? Spilling all your business.
Yes, yes. Like I said, would be up anyway, so might as well keep an eye out. It keeps my senses sharp.
Can I stare into your eyes once more about it? Probably nothing, right?
Still, all you
Anything else I can assist you with, officer?
Well, since we're here,
We still
how
have a
about the
game to
gun?
finish. It's a Bell McGrave, 4.46 caliber, breech loading, Revachol made. Good weapon, accurate and reliable.
Huh.
This one's inoperable. The bolt spring is missing and the mechanism is jammed shut. Still a beauty. Where did you find her?
We can talk about the basement, or find, or it's always with me. I don't know, where does honesty get you?
I'm not surprised. There are probably lots of forgotten wartime weapons lying around here. Back in the day, everyone had something stashed away. As for the rifle, I don't know what else to tell you. These BM-446s are an antique. No one uses them anymore. The ammunition is impossible to find.
Most interesting. Okay. I mean, okay, I'm not getting sandwich from you. No food in here whatsoever. Was this bench selectable before? Alright, I'll go over to the Hardy
The worn
Boys.
and beaten wooden planks of the bench do not look overly comforting.
Well, I mean, you might have enough money. I mean, I know I had you buy a book. You might have enough to sleep.
We can sit on benches after we've solved the murder. Let's go.
You can revisit the bench if you ever need to pass the time when Lieutenant Kitsuragi is gone.
Alright. But we're going over here. Because we've found connections. Found connections between someone at the scene of the crime and the rest of you guys at the scene of the crime. Hello, Elizabeth. Hello, Nightlife, who's come back here. Colorful. What's up, everyone?
Looks like the circus left town, but the clowns are still here.
Honk honk, you know it. Man, we can say I want to talk about the hanging again. Establish authority, and that's a godly type check. Have I seen that before? Have I seen that before? Well, let's say I don't want to do that for now. We can say I want to talk about the hanging again. I found 8 sets of footprints. There's only 7 of you. Where's the 8th, hardy boy? Or I've connected you to the local drug trade, or the merc you hanged, his friends are coming for you. Well, all of this seems extremely inflammatory. So inflammatory, it doesn't seem good to start from any direction, but let's start from the top, I guess.
Again, just get the dead guy's autograph, since you're his biggest fan.
How about it?
Good one, Titus.
Well, no more questions in that one.
About fucking time.
8 sets of footprints. Ask like you don't know.
What are you talking about, madman? There's no 8th hardy boy. There's 7 of us and we're all here.
Well...
Or what? You want to be the 8th hardy boy? We ain't hiring.
Oh, nice of you to play it off like that.
Actually, boss, we've been talking and we think she could maybe...
Okay, big mouth. I didn't say it was a she.
This person Glenn wants to hire, he really respects her.
Wow.
Shut the fuck up, Glenn!
I do the talking here. Now what the fuck do you want, cop?
Well, to keep living, but let's keep asking questions anyway.
So let me get this straight. There is an 8th hardy boy. It's a she, and you don't like us talking about her?
Thanks, Glenn.
That's right. We're not talking about this. This is a private Hardy Boys matter. Nothing to do with your shit. And you're not cops here. Don't go digging around if you don't want a bullet in the back of your head. I'm watching you.
Good. We are all watching each other. Officer, your question.
Oh, okay.
There's no point in pushing it further, he thinks. This is already a victory. We'll learn more about this 8th hardy sooner or later.
Well, it's funny that we have information right now. So, guess what? I've connected you to the local drug trade.
Like hell you have. There is no local drug trade. This place is as clean as a rifle. Go back to Jamrock and ask the local junkies how clean your streets are in Precinct 41 kilos.
The kid out back just said he's on speed. He just...
We'll do that. In the meantime, did you know that there's an abandoned lorry at the intersection that was used to move raw ingredients for drugs from Terminal B to Jamrock? The person driving it was present at the hanging. It was one of you. We've connected the footprints. Detective, do you want to deliver the coup de grâce?
No, the thunder is his. Leave it to the lieutenant.
Well, what a charming suggestion. You could say, no, you do the honor, you've earned it. Or, there's no local drug trade except you. Yeah, you've earned it.
Thank you. You're right, Titus. There is no local drug trade, because it's all controlled by you. You're the drug trade.
Okay. Somehow I thought you were going to say something different than that. How's it go?
That's a mighty interesting theory. I guess that's what you would need to do, theoretically. A big, strong, state-run monopoly would outcompete the runts on the street.
Why do you say state-run?
Yeah, man. Theoretically, that's what you would do. To get rid of the gangs, the dealers, even some of the junkies.
Well, that was an unprecedented amount of detail with very little prompting.
You would need good, trustworthy people to take their place, of course. Hardy men to run such a monopoly. For the good of the community, of course.
Hello? Walter White? Drug dealer Art? Hello? We can say this is disgusting. You're admitting to profiting off of poisoning your own people, or good idea. People are always going to do drugs, at least this way you have some control over it. Or, yeah, keep telling yourself that. I know for a fact there's still plenty of drugs out there. is it convincing at all to say good idea with your recovering alcoholic countenance? Maybe that's convincing. And maybe it doesn't read as sincere being a cop.
Thank you. Theoretically, of course.
Sheesh.
He seems genuinely surprised at your response, in a good way.
Oh, it works. A little openness, a little thing like that. And like from an outside perspective, what is that actually the only thing that works for drug recovery? What was it like? Places where they try decriminalization. You just need to give them the drugs for free and a place to recover.
Titus, I'm amazed. Where is the same professionalism when it comes to other topics? You're doing great. I hardly have to interfere at all.
Elizabeth, that was one of the most suspicious things I've ever heard, so I don't know what they taught you at lawyer school.
I don't know, Lizzie. I guess theoretical things don't make me emotional.
Huh.
Now, was there anything else? I was sorta gonna get my brewski on.
Well, that's a hilarious way to phrase that.
Not quite yet, Mr. Hardy. There were 8 sets of prints on the crime scene. There are only 7 Hardy boys here.
The 8th Hardy? She's the one who's missing. Runs the thing, right?
My answer is... fuck off.
Yay.
Mind your own business. There is no 8th Hardy. I run this goddamn scene.
And I run this goddamn arms race.
Finally, you got something out of it. This could prove useful in the future.
Okay, starting to crack a little.
And here we go. Back to the usual.
You have a hard job. I hope they pay you enough.
I know. Fatty walked on all 4s. He's so fucking fat, he left 2 sets of footprints.
Beautiful.
Go fuck your mom, Dennis.
Banter.
That's more like it, boys. You heard him. It was Angus on all 4s. Anything else you need to know?
Wow. What a fun lawyer. Might be my new favorite in all fiction. I talked to Joyce. The merc you hanged, his friends are coming for you. I mean, since we're here, might as well say so.
Yeah. By friends, you mean his squad mates from Crenell.
Did you see them? Do you know what they look like? Did you know one of them is the massive scab out there?
Wouldn't want to beat up his grandma.
Nervous, snickering. There's a rush of adrenaline present.
We can say yes, they're forming some kind of tribunal, and they're coming for you. I mean, this just sort of seems like it's stoking tensions. I am trying to say weirder things.
This is what happens if you take the law into your own hands. Other people start doing it too.
A sort of phrasing that suggests turn it back to us. Here we are, RCM.
Let them come. The Hardy boys are right fucking here.
That's the problem.
You heard the man. Right here. We're armed. We got the whole district behind us. And Glenn. Glenn is fucking crazy.
Great.
Yeah. A well-oiled murder machine.
The mood is on the rise. They're feeling confident, ready to punch out the whole merc platoon.
Well, you can say the Crenell is bad news, you know that, right? Or they're armed with automatic weapons, or they're rogue, and conclude. Well, from that last message, the little conclude, I can only assume that none of this is really going to land, but well, let's see what they say.
So are the local gangs. The fucking Barmy Army and the Madre scum. You've been out there. Seen any around?
Yeah. Where are they now, huh? Sent back to Madre in an airtight cargo crate.
Really?
These people are trained military professionals. Special forces, as you said. They're not a gang or Barmy Army.
No, they're not. They're uncoordinated and drunk. We know more about them than you think.
Automatic weapons, then?
We got weapons of our own. We got Ister 50s, Zeelagers. Glenn's got a knock cannon at home.
We can ask, will they pierce ceramic armor? Or if he's got a knock cannon, I guess you'll be alright. I'm wondering about both of those.
That thing has 7 barrels, 1 trigger. You do the math.
Well, I'm still curious about
We got
the
weapons of
other
our-
one.
I guess we're gonna see, aren't we?
See what? That they don't?
Yeah, like you've been up against ceramic armor.
Well, there's still a little bit out back if you want to test it.
You haven't even seen the whole suit, right? I've seen the whole fucking thing, and it didn't make him immortal.
How exactly? Well, they've gone rogue.
Big fucking surprise. They hire psycho scum, arm them to the teeth, and let them loose in the city. What do you think is gonna happen?
Good old-fashioned American policing, so okay.
What do you mean, okay?
I mean, okay, they're gonna wipe you out, or okay, you got this, or I'll be on your side when they come, or you got one more gun on your side. Once I find mine, I lost it. Did we say that to everyone yet? I mean, I guess why wouldn't they know? But why would they know? We could say, I guess I'll be gunning you down right alongside them. Ooh. Well. Huh. Some kind of bid that they'll be wiped out, or I'll be on your side when they come. I don't know if they buy that. That interests me, though.
Yeah, just try not to get in the way when the whoop-ass flies open.
Well, that's not quite the sparkling camaraderie.
Beneath the whoop-assery, it's clear that he appreciates all the help he can get.
Well, that was plenty interesting, I suppose. And the animation waits for him to sit down. I still feel that being kind of a power move. I'm okay, I'm like at once like kind of eager to to get to the to get to the I don't know, smoker on the balcony when the hour strikes. 1 hour left in game. So what does that mean? What else is there left to do? I guess if you're approaching the end of a second day at Disco Elysium, stop by the pawn shop because I don't quite know. Okay, I didn't see any options to hurl that shot put ball. So I guess you've just got to get all shored up to stay the night without being in the rain. Nothing's quite new to select over here, right? Looks like I overshot. Man, I turned the music down because a couple of times it... Wait. What? Is there something going on around? Something disco going on around? Turn the music down a little bit because sometimes the swells of it, as great as they are, got in my ears a little. So...
Hello, hello. Let me know if I can help you with anything.
So I have a feeling that the missing lorry driver might have bought the gun. Because that was sort of a hint.
Sure. Let me have a look.
But let's, don't sell your clothes.
Anything else you're thinking of selling?
Check the pockets and go for a ball, I suppose. I don't think it's quite time to get rid of a rifle or anything. But, yeah. I don't want to...
Another time, perhaps.
Don't want to accidentally click things around here like I used to, but hopefully that's enough to make you not overcome with things. I start to worry what kind of time I've got out here in the real life. probably not quite enough time to...
Medicinal purposes of the pill. The cover of this heavy tome features a number of esoteric symbols.
I don't think I have quite enough time to elapse the last hour before we meet the smoker, but... Yeah, I'm definitely getting out of here in a few minutes, but
Flipping
why
through
not?
the book, you find a number of sections on the general benefits of the pill. A large pharmacopoeia makes up nearly half of the book.
Like cornucopia, but for pharmacy? Or health advice? I don't know, what is it?
You come across the following explanation. While modern pharmacopoeia are continually updated by so-called experts based on the results of clinical trials, readers will find assembled here the timeless wisdom relied upon by generations of traditional Seolite medicine practitioners, Mesk mystics, and Ilmaran folk doctors.
Is that like all the same region or worldwide and repackaged for a gullible, new-aged, pseudoscience medicinal sort of community? Oh my god. But is it any sort of hint? Because there seem to be checks that you really can't pass about
Finally,
the pale...
something to calm the angry spirits that have been plaguing you.
Anything?
It seems to contain descriptions of the medicinal properties of various ingredients that may be gathered from the pale, as well as instructions for producing a variety of herbal remedies.
How about restoring lost memories or soothing the dormant of existence?
What you're describing is booze. You don't need any herbs for that.
But what about one that like helps with blood pressure? Do I remember any herbs that do that? Restoring lost memories, hangover.
There are a number of Seolite tonics that promise to improve your short-term memory, but nothing that speaks to your condition.
Oh, well, this is a great overview. How about a hangover?
There's nothing in here that speaks to hangovers directly. However, while browsing through the various descriptions, you become convinced that you could assemble something from the ingredients listed here. Want to give it a shot?
Okay, that was unexpected. I didn't know that the book cost 20 minutes to pass in a blink. In which case I wouldn't want to... I wouldn't want to miss the... I wouldn't want to miss being at the smoker's balcony. Okay, wait. How much time do I actually have as me as a person? I want to be here, but also it's the first week of college, and two of the classes are for some reason doing this thing where they give you like 3 weeks worth of work, and then they don't give you any deadlines. You're like, you could just turn it all in on one day, 3 weeks apart, and I think maybe I prefer shorter deadlines. Okay, this is the wrong direction, although it might be interesting to go back in there sometime. I don't think I encountered anything that was even remotely resembling a password for the square thing where I talked to a little old lady in there. The absolute wonder around here, though. Alright, is either of these... Okay, I don't think either of those routes are particularly closer. What a convincing sound of the sea, huh? And keep on going, keeping it going. I think I work better when deadlines are like more close together and making sense of each other more often. So here we are. But then if I'm right near the balcony reading a book... Okay, was it passing time in 20-minute chunks exclusively? Or... I don't know, it feels kind of risky, but kind of prudent. Here we are before 2100. this might not be it.
This door is made of metal and appears to be reinforced. Someone here really values their security.
And check my notes too. Are we even in the right place? There's who put the clothes in the trash. Smoker on the balcony. Okay, sometime after 2100, so it should be perfectly safe not to do it on the exact minute. So we open up that book. Here we go. How about it? Does that...
Medicinal purposes of flipping through the book, you find a number of sections on the general benefits of the pill. A large pharmacopoeia makes up nearly half of the book.
Jumped up there instantly.
Have you taken any walks through the pill recently?
Don't know what it is.
The book is frustratingly vague on this topic, but it seems that if you've walked through the pill, you would know it.
We've met someone who has walked through the pale.
Flipping through the book, you find a number of sections on the general benefits
Hello.
of the pill. A large pharmacopoeia makes up nearly half of the book. Have you taken any walks through the pill recently? And on your walks, do you stop to meditate on the nature of your being?
Every time?
Good. And when you meditate, are you in the nude?
Buck naked, maybe?
Excellent. Free your body. You long to feel the cool breeze tickle against your inner thighs and midriff.
This...
What about your junk?
What about my junk?
Well, yeah, on your junk, too.
What a fascinating internal conversation. As I stand at your door reading a book.
Your genitalia are the site of your most important erogenous zone. It's vitally important to aerate them in the pill.
And that was from the book, not from either specific one.
A note of caution, however. Be sure to limit your exposure to the pill to no more than an hour a day and no more than 3 hours total per week.
So there's something solid in that book. Well, that worked incredibly well. And hi. Okay, I didn't know. Didn't know it would work that well.
You found me.
Hello. The young man on the balcony gives you a bright smile before taking another drag from his cigarette.
It feels like a Friday. He seems to be in a good mood tonight.
What's up?
And his shirt is still unbuttoned.
Well, quite a voice to note that in electrochemistry. The cleaning lady let us in.
Beautiful.
He looks at you, something sparkles in his eyes. Your narration around him.
So tell me, are you here to make things right again?
Maybe? We could say that's what I'm aiming for, yes, or honestly I'm just trying not to screw anything up. Or I'm not trying to make things right, I'm gonna make them spectacular.
Beautiful. I have some good news for you. My Sunday friend is visiting me tonight. I told him about you and he'd like to say hello. Step in. He's already waiting.
Okay. You could say, is it Friday tonight? It feels like Friday. Or why would I want to meet your friend? Or I'll talk to him. But first I want to have to talk to you. I have so many questions.
Yeah, it does feel like the end of the week. Such gentle weather.
Just a Tuesday though, isn't it? Let's explore all of these if we can.
Trust me, you do.
Very well. How
That's
about
nice,
you?
but I don't have anything to tell you. It's my friend you're looking for, not me.
He takes another drag of his unfiltered cigarette and looks around. It's getting dark and the neighboring windows have lit up one by one. Downstairs, a cat crosses the yard, disappearing into the bush.
Besides, I've got to run.
Oh, did I miss talking to you?
He's going to leave you alone again. That's sad.
Oh dear.
Something tells you you're never going to talk to an individual this cool or mysterious ever again.
Well, you can say, go if you must, I don't care. Or you could say, but I just found you again. Well, you kind of started off with an air of desperation. I just found you.
Just look at it. It's a beautiful night. Who's going to stay in on a night like this?
I guess the rain cleared up.
He's right. Only losers go to bed early. Time to break out the booze.
Huh.
A man on high heels stumbles out of a basement club, music blasting over the entire district. It's chilly, and as the chemicals hit his nervous system, 1,000 shivers ripple through his body.
Only if you promise we'll talk again, it's important.
Something flutters in the corner of the lieutenant's mouth as you're saying those words.
Are you detecting gay desperation?
We'll talk. Just not tonight.
Whoa. Was there a different way that could have gone?
Take care, alright?
Ah. Okay. I can't tell if I messed it up or anything. Well, there's something so different about him that I can't put my finger on.
Different, of course.
Wind through all of these. You could say, his shirt, why is his shirt always unbuttoned? Or, he's such a good listener, I like talking to him. Or, he smells good, why on earth does he smell so good? Do I want to try to say... Okay, which one seems the gayest? Okay, smells good, mysterious, like talking to him. Yeah, I mean, it's all on like a scale of pretty gay. Let's go for this ringer.
He smells good.
He squints his eyes trying to hold back laughter. What?
He smells good, and that's weird.
I'm trying to figure something out here. Huh?
He's barely holding it together.
Succeeding.
It's all he can do to keep from bursting out in laughter.
Please tell me I have enough points in composure for this.
Come on, detective, let's go. We've got a potential witness to interview. His Sunday friend, remember?
Having absolutely zero hints. Is there a bit of an animation? Okay, no, it's still the same thing. Okay, I thought I was getting out of here, but I'm too intrigued. Hello, Sunday friend. Is it weird if we like snoop the whole place before getting to you? It's just ashtrays and being just the worst house guest, incredibly nosy, looking in your kitchen, flyers for parties, dates for lectures at a university. You could take a hat. I don't think there's been any consequences for taking people's possessions yet, but I'm just gonna set a limit. Expensive men's perfume lingers in the air. Interesting. This is just your closet. You let the cops in and they took your robes. There's buckets of paint. There's a canopy bed.
Officers of the Revachol Citizens Militia.
A man in business casual removes his cufflinks.
His hands are clean and well manicured. This is a man who knows the importance of appearances.
I'm nervous about the composure.
My name is Charles Vildrouin, and I am an official with the coalition government. I work for the Institute of Price Stabilité on assignment from Sur-la-Clé.
Well, nice to officially meet you, government
I
man.
heard you talking to my friend outside. Very good. Super. I am here to assist you in any way possible. Ask me about the hanging.
Okay.
No, first ask an innocuous personal question to get the interview off on the right foot.
Are we sure that it's gonna go on the right foot?
Yeah, let's fuck with him. Who does he think he is? Assisting you?
I absolutely have to inquire about this wonderful canopy. Maybe?
Oh yes, my friend has a great eye for these things. He refuses to tell me where it came from. It's a mystery. I believe they call this type of frame industrial. It's very comfy. That's really all I can tell you about it.
What was that? You were supposed to fuck with him, not complement the decor.
But it still was setting off on the right foot. Don't be so mad, Have-Light.
The lieutenant takes out his notebook and nods to you to proceed.
So you actually witnessed the lynching?
I'm sorry to say I did, officer.
And this is just the break we've been looking for, maybe?
Easy, detective. No need to jump to conclusions.
Alright, no need to jump to conclusions, followed by, is this because you did it? Start from the beginning, if you don't mind. I mean, I know he didn't do it. This seems like it would establish bad rapport. But also, I want to say crazier things.
Because I did it?
He's clearly not a man accustomed to being spoken to in that manner, let alone to being accused of murder.
All the composure checks succeeding so far. Well, I mean...
Officer, it's very difficult to describe what I saw that night. It was so surreal to me, like in a play.
What do you mean, like in a play?
You're more familiar with theater than you are with crime?
It was just so strange. I could barely comprehend what was happening. I was on the balcony when it happened, getting some fresh air. I remember that first they came in, carrying what looked like a body. And then I saw all the surrounding windows go dead, one by one.
All the surrounding windows, just like the, was it the waitress who was afraid of the union and saying that everyone is?
That's when I understood. I should not be seeing this.
Oh.
Sounds like the victim was unconscious, or at least incapacitated. Interesting.
And who were they? Can you describe them?
I couldn't see their faces well, and there were quite a few of them. But they were very loud and very Martinase.
Okay.
Let's just say that the laboring classes can get rather expressive with their profanities.
A little judgy, are you? Well, how many?
I couldn't tell you exactly. Less than 10. Maybe 8?
Well, that's what we think so
The
far.
lieutenant sends you a sharp look at the mention of that number.
Were any of them huge?
That's a giant you're describing. No, they were all quite human, as far as I could tell.
Did any of them look like drummers? Since Kim brought that up first and then quickly disregarded it, I don't suppose he would be exhausted to hear that come out of our mouths, huh?
Drummers? Why, no. But then, I don't know what a drummer is supposed to look like.
I think we can drop the drummer angle. That was my bad.
Okay, what happens next?
I went back inside.
Yes, back inside. Keep yourself safe from the killing.
Were you able to see anything from inside?
Officer, the yard was pitch black. There was nothing to see, but I could still hear their voices. They were threatening to kill that poor man.
Oh, were they men or women?
All men, I presume. But again, I couldn't see very clearly.
Well, this is something, but not really something, is it?
But we are fairly certain the lady driver was present.
At least one of them wasn't a woman. How about?
It's possible, officer, but I cannot say with certainty. It was very dark, you must remember.
And talk about ethnicity?
I believe they were mostly white, though I believe I saw 2 Aeropagites among them. And I am quite certain that one spoke with a Mesk accent.
2?
Well, that's the strangest part, officer. Nothing happened. It was oddly quiet for a public lynching.
What do you mean nothing happened? They lynched a guy.
Eventually, their shouts died down, and that was all. There were no gunshots, no celebratory shouts, no anything.
So, if the shouting, the initial shouting... Okay, so carrying someone unconscious to a tree, shouting in bravado, perhaps is a signal to let people know they shouldn't witness it. Is that all cover? We can say, why didn't you call, but...
You're right, of course. That is what one is supposed to do in such circumstances. I was simply in shock.
Bystander effect?
I'm afraid I don't have anything else to add.
About what time was all this happening, approximately?
All I can say is that it was late.
So you didn't actually witness it?
No, I didn't see the corpse until the following day.
Wow.
It seems this wasn't the break you were hoping for.
Well, do so much for being hopeful.
I think we have everything we need. Thank you for talking to us, Mr. Villedroit.
Of course. Anything I can do to assist the RCM.
We can chat a little. What are you doing in Martinase?
The coalition is only looking out for the price stability. Inflation is a killer, like a heart disease blocking the normal circulation of the economy. It must be controlled. The economy impacts the entire international community, which is why it requires international oversight.
And we can say, what are you doing here in this apartment?
Well, I'm
Sudden
renovating
light.
It is an interesting project. The building used to be a 12-story skyscraper before the cannons took the top 4 stories off. This, of course, happened when the coalition forces landed here.
But that was decades ago by now.
You could say I'm undoing some of the material damage the international community caused when we arrived here.
So, that's how you met the owner of the apartment? Or some kind of bureaucrat?
Yes. As I said before, I am a commissioner from Sur-la-Clé working for the Institute of Price Stability. This is one of the main projects of the Moral Intern.
Oh, then we technically work for the same people?
La Communauté Internationale is what Revacholians colloquially call the coalition. In other words, the nations that stopped the disaster of the revolution.
So official. We can ask more.
It is the most important thing.
Capitalist? We can say that doesn't tell me anything.
It's the central goal of any sound monetary policy. Maintaining the price stability is essential to maintaining high levels of economic activity, which is essential for maintaining high levels of employment, which is essential for maintaining the social stability.
Basically, it makes sure the price of bread doesn't change.
Précisément. Too much inflation, bread becomes too expensive. Too much deflation, it becomes too cheap for bakers to produce. That's why the Institute of Price Stability works to keep inflation just below 2%.
Below 2% of what?
But not too far below. No. Too below is also bad. Below, but close to 2%.
I think you've achieved being baffled by economics.
The coalition believes in the importance of informing the public about the benefits of the price stability. Transparency is one of our principles. Would you like an informational pamphlet?
I guess.
A sound monetary policy is essential for addressing uncertainty. But I don't have my leaflets on you today.
Okay.
That's too bad. You can always call our information line. Making information available is part of the Moral Intern's commitment to transparency.
And we can ask to know more. I mean, I guess while we're in an apartment.
It's the International Organization for Moralists. Hence, Moralist International. The Institute of Price Stability is just one of its many mind babies, as is the coalition.
Brainchild? And we can ask. So when I said I was a lackey of capital, and when... Okay, what I should have said is that I'm a moral intern bitch. Or, so when I said I was a thrall to foreign interests, what I should have said is that I'm a moral intern bitch. And then you can say, so we're actually working for moral intern. That doesn't seem so bad. Okay, let's just exclude this other guy from our conversation real quick.
Doing one's job doesn't automatically make one anyone's bitch. Besides, there are more nefarious powers to work for than the moral intern.
Fascinating. Are you a moralist?
But of course.
Am I a moralist?
Well, do you value freedom? Do you believe in a normal, stable world governed by democratic values?
Well, what an excellent sales pitch. How about you, Lieutenant?
Me?
You've managed to catch the lieutenant off guard, but only for a moment.
Hey.
He quickly recomposes himself.
Here's the amnesiac for you.
I'm a lieutenant of the RCM, dedicated to maintaining law and order in Ravachol.
Well, quite the answer.
A very moralist answer.
The lieutenant is practiced in the art of putting on a show for one's superiors.
Marvelous. But what is a normal, stable world? And how much injustice does that engender?
The Occident is part of the normal world. Homme, Sur-la-Clé.
Well, this doesn't seem very normal or stable to me.
Martinase? No. Martinase is something else.
How about the rest of it?
Rivachol is generally difficult. It's led by an interim government, which means it hasn't yet achieved full democracy.
Well, how patronizing, but...
But they are working towards it. You're all doing very well here, relatively speaking.
Oh, wow, I said that was patronizing before you even said that. You can say I don't think I'm a moralist, sounds incredibly boring, I want more action. Or it's the ideology of foreign occupiers. You could go a little nationalist, or you could say democracy is a meaningless sham as long as the working class is under the boot heel of capital. Or you could say it's like every time I'm talking to people, I'm choosing option D, none of the above. Is that moralism? Huh. I mean, after talking to Joyce, do you believe in democracy, or do you believe that Capital just hired 2 gunmen that are on the loose?
Of course, the detective's personal views do not represent the views of the RCM.
I'm loving that. I followed around by the fine text.
Ah, my friend. But the lesson of the revolution is that communism does not work.
What a great conversation to be having. You can say it didn't work because the coalition crushed it violently. I mean, should something that works be immune to being violently crushed? That seems cynical to think about. Or you can say we haven't tried real communism work, and you're telling me this one's working? That seems the most realistic, doesn't it? Is it working?
It's moving towards the right direction, and that's all that matters. Progress is measured in centimeters, my friend.
What's an acceptable amount of death and poverty and disease to have along the way?
Now, enough of this delightful political interlude. Was there anything else you wanted to ask?
Well, ask you about the world, maybe?
What's there to say? Sur-la-Clé is a modern, urbanized country that measures very high on the Human Development and Freedom Index. Mostly, though, it's known as the executive heart of EPIS. Moreover, it is a great sponsor of less emerged countries. Rivachol is only one of its many darlings whose progress it supports and cherishes.
Are we colonized right now? I mean, I thought so. What's the darling?
Because a great percentage of Rivachol's culture hails from Sur-la-Clé. Its language, its people, its cuisine even. Or at least in the downtown La Delta area.
We're a French colony? What?
Jamrock and other parts of the international zone have been mercifully spared of Sur-la-Clé's love for meatballs and mashed potatoes.
Interesting. And the other side of the coin, tell me about it.
Oranje is an exemplary nation who, as a core member of EPIS, contributes 28% of our annual budget.
So professional.
Next to Sur-la-Clé, Oranje is probably the most prominent member of the international community.
Oh dear. Well, you can say which one of them is more like that.
As founding members, they are both very EPIS. Oranje carries a lot of political weight, while Sur-la-Clé takes care of the business side of things. Sur-la-Clé hosts the headquarters of the major EPIS institutions.
But outside of the EPIS, what is it?
Oranje's economy is one of the most advanced in the world.
That's no way to
it
describe
has
a
successfully
place,
transitioned
is it?
from heavy industry to advanced services, and generally acts as an engine for sustainable change in the international community.
We could say, can't you just talk like a normal person? I have a feeling he's not in this apartment to talk. But I don't know, how would you describe a country? Good weather, friendly people, tried the food's great, any of it?
About what?
What it's like there.
Oh, it's very urban and very well organized. Their streets are clean, their horse cars run on time, the people are polite and efficient. Like I said, they are an example for less emerged nations to follow.
And by follow, do you mean get overrun by? Is that cynical to say? Well, enough business, I guess.
Whatever you wish, officer.
Can you tell me about your friend?
Ah, my friend. My friend is a good young man. His family immigrated here from Kedra, and life has not been easy for him. But he understands the importance of education. He has taken his future into his own hands, and that's all that matters.
Okay, I guess explore the full line of dialogue.
Kedra is a candidate member of APIS. But, between you and me, their potential membership is a more contentious issue.
And how so?
That it's never going to happen.
Hey.
They entered negotiations in 21, and it's been pending ever since.
Well, that's some way to talk about your friend's homeland. And what is this EPIS?
EPIS is a very special program developed by the Moral Intern to support certain Occidental nations. It began as a unified system of weights and measures, which proved to be a wild success. Nothing but kilograms and centimeters as far as the eye can see.
It's sounding a little colonial, but also I can't object. I can't object to having measurements.
It was such a wild success that we expanded it into an economic union for the processing of steel. Another success. And between you and me, the Moral Intern feels emboldened by this success. Emboldened to take EPIS to the next level.
Like if you're using the kilograms and centimeters to go to like space or something for science, for medicine, that sounds great, but are you guys in space yet? What's it stand for?
Why, it stands for progress and stability, like the Moral Intern as a whole.
The letters?
It's been such a wild, extraordinary success thus far. We are very excited to take it to the next level.
Do you hear what we're saying?
A supranational political alliance. The United States of Occident.
Is it gonna be like this?
You mean Revachol? No, it's going to have transparent democracy. It's one day going to be a candidate member of EPIS, sure.
Didn't you say candidate members never become real members?
No, candidate members do become members. Why do we even have the whole system in place if they don't? It just takes time. Time and evaluation.
Being a bit squeezed.
But we were talking about my friend here, not politics.
Or were we? Well, how'd you become friends?
How did any of us become friends? Bad things happening on the Insulindian Isola. Oil platforms ablaze in the night. Civil wars lasting for years. Finally, the international community is forced to step in.
And no one becomes friends that way, or how the coalition occupied Revachol. I like the insight of that. Are you occupying your little friend?
One of the wonders of democracy is that everyone is allowed to have his own opinion. And not just allowed, encouraged even. Have you ever tried debate?
I've tried saying cockamamie ideas. What do you mean?
Debating. You should consider joining a debating society for adults. I hear they're oodles of fun. I used to have a flyer for one, but now that I start thinking of it, it was for an improv class anyway.
Okay.
It's this funny theater thing, you know? Very creative. Helps relieve stress.
But who's your friend?
Sorry, who?
The smoker on the balcony.
But I told you, officer. He's a bright young man here to pursue his education. Education is the foundation of our future, especially the arts. It is a cornerstone of our civilization.
He's here to study the arts, or what's his real name? I'd love to ask both, but let's veer toward the arts.
He's deeply enmeshed in the study of the fine arts, yes.
Which ones? And do you know his name, or did it not come up?
He's a truly free spirit. He likes all the arts. Perhaps graphic design, printmaking, who knows? The world is open wide for a talented youth like him.
Oh my god, you haven't talked. Oh my god. Okay, wait, I'm asking the other one. What's his name?
Sorry. Who? But I told you, officer, you have to understand. I can't give you his personal information. I'm sure you have your own methods and databases, right? Please don't put me in this situation.
There's a real chance you don't know his name.
He's deeply enmeshed in the study of the fine arts.
Alright,
He's
saw that bit already, but...
I'm just enjoying the view.
As friends do. It's dark outside. Isn't it rude for your friend to leave you alone like that?
Listen.
The baby is crying in the neighboring apartment.
Someone's baby is crying?
No, listen.
Beyond the crying?
The Insulindian Bay.
Well, there's more of a good earful of it from down by the docks. What about it?
This place used to be a luxury accommodation before the revolution. Apartments, of course, were much bigger then. A few walls have been added here and there, leaving some of the tenants without a private bathroom or a kitchen.
Wait, do you have a whole explanation?
But the million real view stays.
Oh.
You can't take that away.
But your friend, though.
My friend comes and goes. I'm sure you'll see him around. He's a busy bee.
And was there any dialogue option that I
just
missed? He left you.
We're old friends. Nothing's taboo between us. He comes and goes. I'm sure you'll see him around.
Absolutely fascinating.
I'm all ears, officer.
Huh. I'm extremely curious if I missed something.
Officer, do you have everything you need from me? I'm afraid we won't have the chance to speak again once you leave.
But why not?
It's against diplomatic best practices for an official in my position to be discussing murders with local militiamen. And I'm pressed for time. After you leave, I should be leaving as well.
You can say I'm not going anywhere, just want to take a look around this apartment. Thanks for the heads up. My work here is done.
Sure, go ahead. It's a beautiful space.
Well, with that, you're gonna watch me save and take a random robe. You can watch me take that robe. I don't suppose that unlocks anything different with you.
Was there anything else?
Well, I hope I haven't missed anything.
I'm sorry I couldn't be the break you were looking for. Good luck with the investigation.
Okay, maybe that was something. Maybe that was fascinating. Maybe... I'm not quite sure if things are out of reach or if I need to update this again, because I haven't, I don't know, spent any of the points. Okay, but you can't even do that. You can't even do that. There's already the maximum amount over there. So this has been fascinating, illuminating. Are you closer to realizing that you're bisexual? We got laughed at. That was that was amusing, deserved, and hopefully the lead up to some kind of insight. I'm off to do a mountain of homework. Thank you very much for watching, and let's be at